When people are trying to survive in a desert, what's the number one thing they're looking for? Well, it's water. But when there's no water to be seen anywhere in their environment, where do they look? They look underground. They drill a well. Because in certain places there is a continuous flow of water through porous rock. And if you drill down, you can tap into it. And that way, everything you need to survive is actually right beneath your feet, even though on the surface you see nothing encouraging at all. Now, when you're going through a wilderness experience and you feel overwhelmed, isolated, hopeless, and afraid, what are the two things you're looking for? Hope and peace. And where do you find them? Well, sadly, most Christians don't know where to find them. They end up begging God to take them out of the circumstance. But when you accepted Jesus into your heart, the Holy Spirit also came into your heart or into your spirit. And in my mind, I have a picture that the Holy Spirit then connects you to the river of God that flows from the throne of God. And in that river is all the hope and peace that you need. And it's flowing continuously through your heart or through your spirit. But to access that hope and peace, you have to drill down to it. You have to drill down through all the lies that you're believing about your current circumstance. All the fear you have, all the hopelessness, all the sense of isolation, all the sense that I don't have what it takes, I'm alone, it's going to work out terrible, that sense of doom. You have to drill down through all of the lies that's maintaining that negative perspective. And the more you believe the lies, the harder it is to drill down. And remember, you're in a spiritual war. Satan does not want you to learn about that river of hope and peace that's already resident there. He doesn't want you to know about it, and he certainly doesn't want you to find it. So he keeps reinforcing the lies and saying, well, look at your circumstances. The lies are true, because he justifies all his lies. So how do we drill down through that enormous obstacle to that flow of hope and peace that's always flowing through your spirit? What is the tool that God has given us so that we can access that flow? It's worship. When you worship, you bring the presence of God close to you. You feel His presence, you hear His voice, you then tap in to the flow of the river of God that's coming out from the throne room, filled with the hope and peace you need. But Satan doesn't want you to do that. This is spiritual war. Because when you worship, when you bring the presence of God, it's demon repellent. He doesn't want you to do that. Because when you worship, it breaks the power of those lies over you and connects you to the source of life, which is hope and peace from the throne itself. So how do you worship? I realize you can't always be singing. You can worship with your thoughts. You can think about God. You can thank Him. You can ask for help. You can be with Him in your mind. You can sing in your mind without making any noise. You can load worship songs onto your phone so that you can listen to it at lunch, in the car, on your breaks, when you're walking. Put worship music on in your house. Surround yourself with worship, and then you are drilling down to that continuous flow of hope and peace, which is already inside you, waiting to be accessed. So are you in a wilderness experience right now? Surround yourself with worship. And then you will drill down to and connect to that continuous flow of hope and peace. Then your circumstances won't be so overwhelming, because you'll hear and feel the voice of God in His presence. So now I want to hear from you. How has worship solved a big problem for you? Or how has worship carried you through a very difficult circumstance? Just leave your testimony in the box below, because we want to share what you experienced. And if this is your first visit here, you need to get my free self-assessment guide. And to do that, just subscribe to our weekly email newsletter by filling out the form on this page. And I'll talk to you again next week. But this week, worship.